Twilight was approaching the Holy Land. Each temple was preparing to close as the believers had finished their pilgrimages. Although for temples like the Night Temple and the Moon Temple, the main activities were just about to begin. Worshippers rarely came at night unless it was a festival day. Around this time, a surprising battle was about to take place a short distance from the Herald Temple. It was a fight between warrior priests. One was a man forced to live a long life due to the blood of his father Ashlyn, and the other had chosen to become a fairy. Their ways of life were in stark contrast. Both were warrior priests, but Spade, being a fairy, had various restrictions unlike other warrior priests who traveled across the country to fight. Cougar was seldom called to battle unless it was something significant. Spade and Cougar moved to the center of the grassland and faced each other. Then I'll go first. Spade moved first, as if to test the waters. He initiated a sword clash. Although Spade had Harold's blessing, he did not fight with full power unless his opponent was Harold. Cougar immediately held his sword with both hands, perhaps thinking he couldn't withstand Spade's sword's power with just one hand. The metallic sound of their sword blades clashing echoed around them. As soon as Cougar blocked the downward strike, Spade adjusted his blade and aimed a thrust at Cougar, who managed to dodge it. So he really has trained. Spade understood this after just a brief exchange with Cougar. It seemed that someone quite skilled had taught Cougar. Cougar stepped back and created some distance. He released his left hand from the sword and clenched it. At that moment, Cougar's left arm shone, and a round shield of light appeared. Oh! The priest, watching from the sidelines, exclaimed. The priests watching from the sidelines exclaimed. This time, it was Cougar who approached Spade. Meanwhile, at the temple above the clouds.
Hey Glenn, come here for a moment.
Glenn, who had been waiting in the back, entered the hall when Ashlyn called.
What is it?
Take a look at this, it's interesting.
The scene on the ground was being projected on the floor in front of Ashlyn's chair. Glenn approached and looked at the projection, his eyes widening as he saw the blonde man.
Master Cougar.
Cougar seemed to be fighting someone. Where is this? It's the Holy Land. The Holy Land? Yeah, they seem to be having fun. I'm glad I introduced him to her. Ashlyn laughed. To who? Glenn asked. That Gerber over there. She recently became Cougar's lover. What? Glenn was extremely surprised. Don't tell Harold. When did that happen? Recently, thanks to her, he's been quite fulfilled lately. It's a good thing. Ashlyn seemed very pleased. Glenn couldn't believe that Yuri and Cougar had gotten together so quickly. Glenn looked at the man Cougar was fighting. Isn't he the fairy who was with her back then? Are they fighting over her? Glenn's imagination ran wild and his heart raced. Someone entered the hall. Ashlyn was startled but relaxed. When he saw it, it was Arias, leaving the floor projection. As it was, Arias approached and looked at the floor, his eyes widening when he saw Cougar. Cougar, stop him! What if his face gets scarred? Arias said in a panic. The two on the ground were seriously fighting. Cougar is a respectable adult. I love that face of his. Arias exclaimed. Overprotection is not good. He's not suited for this kind of fight. That's not true. He's had proper sword training. Cougar is the disciple of the sword Saint Bron. That was 900 years ago. He got so many moves back then, and I was so worried. Well, let's watch a bit more. Ashlyn restrained the excited Arias. On the ground, Spade easily dodged Cougar's attacks and countered, seemingly not even using half his strength. Cougar blocked Spade's attacks with his shield of light. When Cougar counterattacked, Spade blocked it with his sword held in both hands. Spade quickly closed the distance and releasing his right hand from the sword, grabbed Cougar's shoulder and pushed him down. Cougar's back hit the ground. You've got quite the strength, I'm surprised, Spade said, looking down at Cougar, who found the act humiliating. Spade stepped back and created some distance. Cougar stood up and pointed his sword downward. There was a disturbance in the air. Magic is coming. Spade sensed it. Cougar swung his sword upward, and a gust of wind rushed towards Spade. Spade had already activated his defensive magic. Wind can't be blocked with that magic, Cougar called out. Oh, I see. Spade moved to the side to dodge, but the wind grew larger and cut Spade's arm as it approached. Oh, Lord Spade. Spade's left arm was cut, but it wasn't bleeding profusely. I should close the distance. Spade advanced toward Cougar, with wind magic in play. Wind fairies began to gather. Rare Lord Cougar is fighting. Do your best. The fairies cheered from their hiding places. It seemed like the sword fight would resume, but Spade noticed 3 light daggers floating above Cougar's head. Oh, Spade stopped in his tracks. The daggers flew at Spade at high speed. He barely dodged them by leaping back. You use magic without hesitation. You won't die, will you? I see. You've completely lost your temper because of that. This time, 10 light daggers appeared above Cougar's head. As Cougar moved his sword, 2 daggers flew at Spade simultaneously. Not good. The light daggers flew from different directions, not just straight ahead. Spade dodged by stepping back and jumping. If he didn't get close, Spade would be at a disadvantage. After dodging the 10th dagger, Spade quickly closed the distance. Fast, Spade quickly reached Cougar. Spade slashed from the side, and Cougar blocked it with his shield of light. Spade's speed had increased significantly, and Cougar began to struggle to block the attacks. Finally, Spade's sword tip cut Cougar's right arm. Lord Cougar, the priest screamed. Now we're even, Spade said.
Cougar didn't respond, but chanted a spell while creating some distance from Spade. Oh. Now Cougar quickly closed the distance. His speed had also increased. Is it a spell to increase speed? Lord Cougar, you hate to lose, don't you? Spade said as he dodged the attacks, but it seemed Cougar's power had also increased. This is amazing! Spade increased his speed, moving behind Cougar and tried to hit him in the back with his elbow. But Cougar spun around, dodged it, and kicked Spade in the back. Oh. Spade braced himself to avoid falling. Cougar then rushed in with his elbow, finally making Spade put his hands on the ground. Now we're even. Cougar pressed his elbow into Spade's back, panting. I'm glad you kept up with me. Spade rotated his body, tripping Cougar and pinning him to the ground. Cougar's body hit the ground. Cougar, who had dropped his sword, tried to stab Spade's arm with something he grasped in his hand, causing Spade to exclaim and dodge. It looked like Cougar was holding a light stake. That was close. Spade stepped away from Cougar. In the temple above the clouds, Arius had been screaming since earlier. Ashwan, enough, if you don't stop this, I will, I'll make that man pay. Arius' right hand was glowing. Stop! He took the time to spar with him, I get it. On the ground, Cougar, still holding the light stake, charged at Spade, who responded with his bare hands. A slender golden arrow shot down from the sky and struck the ground beside them. Oh, Lord Ashland's intervention. What? Could he be watching? Oh no. The priest looked up at the sky, noticing the light arrow. Cougar and Spade separated. Cougar dispelled the light stake and brushed off the grass on his robe. Spade exhaled deeply. Lord Cougar, I had fun. Next time, please come in more suitable clothes. Spade said with a smile. Cougar glanced. Spade said, and vanished. Lord Spade, what are you going to do? Lord Ashland will be angry. The priest will tremble with fear. He won't be angry, he'll think it was just a fight between friends. Spade said casually, friends don't fight like that. The 3 priests said in unison.